This streamer has been destroying his career over the last few months, as for some reason there's just like this massive disconnect between his audience and the internet and him. And he might have just put his career in jeopardy by breaking Twitch's terms of service and potentially committing fraud. And I mean, overall, this has just been one of the craziest domino effects of nothing burgers that I've seen in a long time. But as usual, he doesn't even understand why people are frustrated with him to begin with. Essentially, what's been happening to his career over the last few months is death by a million cuts. There is no massive drama or controversy that has really caused all of this. It's rather just countless moments of him messing up and refusing to acknowledge any of his mistakes whatsoever. And then when he refuses to acknowledge any mistake, he then doubles down and tries to gaslight everyone by saying, actually, I'm the one who's right, no matter what. I mean, if pirate software was placed on an island with a rock and whoever admitted they were wrong first would get to leave the island, they would both be stuck there forever. So obviously today we're talking about the streamer by the name of Pirate Software. And to give you a very brief backstory, he left his entire team to die in a video game where you only have one life. He constantly critiques games and their developers, even attacking a whole movement that protects older games from becoming outdated. He seems to have some god complex he acquired because he worked at Blizzard as a website security guy. And also, by the way, if you didn't know, he's definitely worked at Blizzard. Oh, and he also worked as a person who detected cheaters in their games, which is kind of ironic considering recently he was exposed for blatantly cheating in puzzle games. Basically, he was on his phone during the stream and suddenly went, "Oh, I know the answer." And everyone was like, "Well, is that because you Googled it, dude?" So Pirate then responded via stream and said that he did not cheat and seemed pretty taken aback that people even thought that he would ever cheat.
Why did you cheat in Outer Wilds? What? How the hell would you cheat in that game? Bro, we played it all live on stream. All right, bud. It's a wild-ass thing to say. What the hell?
Essentially, this dude is a love child of hypocrisy and deniability. Oh, and again, did I mention that he worked at Blizzard?
I was watching a video that was critiquing you for mentioning you work at Blizzard so much. I literally never talk about it. When I worked at Blizzard, I did that for Blizzard. Blizzard, 7 years, yeah. Blizzard. I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. Used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. You're red team specialist for Blizzard Entertainment. And Blizzard. Is having worked at Blizzard. I grew up at Blizzard.
I don't think I'm better than other people. There's a lot of people that brought that up. And it's like, I never said that I was. I think sometimes the things that I talk about in regards to those types of things is misconstrued as arrogance or boasting. When in reality, I'm just trying to give context.
So that is the problem right there. So I want you to listen to this phrase. This gets misconstrued as arrogance, but in reality, it's this.
Yeah.
That is the most arrogant statement on the planet, bro.
But I guess things have just got a whole lot worse because it was like 2 weeks ago since we made a 14-minute long video discussing most of this stuff. If you thought things were bad 2 weeks ago, they've got a whole lot worse. I mean, you have dudes who've been making, 14 videos in a row on essentially everything this guy has done since then. So, apparently a lot is going on. And we'll talk about that channel in a little bit because Pirate has actually responded to some of the allegations from that channel. But either way, Pirate has received a lot of attention in the last couple of months. And I think it's the wrong kind, not the one that he wanted, because he's lost nearly 250,000 subscribers on YouTube and over 100,000 followers on Twitch, which is absolutely insane. I mean, you would think with losses like that he would be guilty of something crazy. But instead, as I kind of hinted to previously, it's just kind of like death by 1,000 cuts. And it's not even real cuts. It's just like paper cuts that he won't take any accountability for. So our question for today is, why did all this happen? Well, this all came because Pirate Software, he was streaming on April 1st of this year and accidentally leaked a message between him and his moderator that suggests that he encouraged him to gift paid subscriptions and bits. Bits, by the way, are Twitch's currency. It's like a form of donating on Twitch. And I get to many of you guys, this would be extremely confusing. Why would a streamer want their moderator to be giving them money? To simplify things, there's a feature on Twitch called a hype train.
A hype train. Essentially, the more you get donations or gifts in a short amount of time, it raises the level of this hype train.
And on April 1st of this year, Pirate broke a record for the longest Twitch hype train.
Last year, on April 1st, back in 2024, Twitch's hype train record smashed again by Pirate Software. And they go into detail about Pirate breaking the Twitch hype train world record, with his channel reaching level 106 on April 1st. Once the hype train was initiated, it took Hall roughly 3 hours to beat his previous level 55 world record from December, with viewers contributing 380 gifted subs alongside regular subscriptions and 8.2 million bits, likely earning Hall a healthy six-figure sum in the process.
So why does this matter? Well, on April 1st of this year, Pirate Software went live with the intention of beating this record again, because it had been beaten by another streamer by the name of Vidal. Randomly, during his stream, he accidentally opened his Discord chat with his moderator.
I wished I could place my head between them and go full burr mode and make... What?
Uh-oh. Yeah, so as you can see, some tomfoolery was happening. Out of all the chat logs for him to open on stream, he literally opens the chat log where he's communicating with a moderator of donating money to keep the hype train going, and the mod even states which account he's donating through, called Serendipitous Bean. And then to make things worse, they try to make that account look like it's not the moderator who's donating all this money to keep the hype train going and for him to inevitably beat that record. Yeah, that doesn't look great. So now he's not only allegedly cheating in puzzle solving games, but also allegedly cheating for Twitch donation records. Now, he just responded to those allegations that were originally, from what I know, brought into the spotlight by the YouTuber Quintheo. So here, we're going off of screenshots that Ock20000 took from Pirate's Discord. But here, you can see that Pirate added everyone in his Discord and said, "A content creator called Quintheo is continuously farming ad revenue by making false claims and drama content about me. Recently, he claimed that Kronos broke TOS by giving bits/subs to the Giga Train in April. Kronos used his own money to do this and can do what he likes with that money. Below is some information with receipts about all of that to refute the false claims about the situation. The creator has changed his entire brand into Pirate Software hate content for profit, as shown in image 4. Prior to this year's April 1st Giga Train going live, I made the announcement that I would be receiving 0% of the profits. Of the profits from the train, 50% would be going to the moderation team and 50% would be given to the ferret rescue. This announcement was made on March 29th, 2025, so the community was well informed of this. You can find this and attached as image 1. The total income from the Giga Train was 75,000 rounded up to the nearest thousand. This means that half of the train was 37,500, and that amount was then split 15 ways to all the staff besides me. That means each staff member received 2,500. This was announced to the community on April 9th, 2025. You can find this attached in image 2. Kronos threw 75,000 bits, 100 T1 subs, and 40 T3 subs during the Giga Train at around level 60 plus. He bought all of this in pounds, which came out to about 2,000 pounds or 2,800 bucks after conversions. You can find these transactions attached in image 3. Further, subs are not one-to-one conversion and neither are bits. The subs show up as about 68% of the overall contribution coming through, and bits are normally 82% when purchased in USD. However, doing this in pounds makes the conversion much worse. This means you are spending about 300 pounds or about $400 to get $250 in bits, which is a 62% conversion rate. So in total, Kronos spent $2,815.75 to add 1,830 to the value of the Giga Train, which was then cut in half to 915, because half was given to the rescue and split 15 ways to all staff members as $61. All staff are paid in USD and must convert to their own currency, which is another loss on top of this. Each conversion reduces the total income for any divided staff member that wishes to do this. And he sums it up with the TLDR that no, Kronos was not directed to do this. He was not compensated for this. Yes, he lost money from doing this. No, the Twitch TOS was not broken, no matter how many people try to claim otherwise. You now have the receipts and the math to prove this. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Okay, well, what stands out for me here is why didn't he address, them purposely plotting to donate under another account than Kronos' main account to keep the train alive? It just seems dishonest for your mod to be donating under a fake account that even says in the bio that he was a friend of Kronos and not Kronos himself. And another interesting point is Quintheo, he said in the comments of one of his videos that he had talked to Kronos. And here he claims that Kronos said that he wasn't reimbursed. But according to Thor's response here, Kronos would have actually received $2,500, which would make him almost fully reimbursed here. But Pirate follows up that first message with this. Now for the 1-2 punch against this BS. Quintheo's Discord has people actively doxing me in it. Okay, that's really bad. His moderation team is aware of this and has been encouraging it as shown in the images. They have also been digging into Shay and her job as a secondary attack vector. In image 1, Shelf Related, who is a mod, asks for doxing info directly. We've forwarded all of this to Discord Trust and Safety as a result. We've also banned all the users that were taking part of this from our Discord. Yeah, I mean, if this is true, that's not cool at all. Like, no matter what you think about a creator, you should never be posting their address or work address on the internet, nor should you really have a scavenger hunt within your public Discord to try to find it. That just comes across as extremely obsessive and creepy. Now, I'm only taking Pirate's word for that here because I haven't been inside of Quinthio's Discord to see what was actually going on, but if that's true, that's definitely not a good look. Then, Pirate's last message in this series of posts said, "No, Quinthio, my address is not public information, and your users are distributing it on your Discord while the mods encourage it. They didn't just go after me and Shay either, they went after our moderation team too, as shown here. You cannot BS this away. Leave me and my team alone." I mean, that's fair. Like, Pirate has plenty of public actions and statements that are free game to critique all you want, but you shouldn't be going for their addresses no matter what. And come on, I mean, that shouldn't even be a hot take. Honestly, it's just crazy that things snowballed to this point for him, as this dude's YouTube channel and career in general is just in free fall as we speak. As I previously mentioned, he's lost over 250,000 subs and over 100,000 followers on Twitch. Like, that is insane. It went from some awful World of Warcraft classic plays, which he refused to admit any fault to, and then he just like slowly cascaded into more and more small things that he messed up and wouldn't admit any fault to, because the WoW situation then turned into the stop killing game situation, which then brought the spotlight to his own video game and then another game studio that he used to be associated with called Off-Brand Games. Because as a month ago, he had to completely step back from that game studio as he announced here. And Ludwig, who is one of the founders of that studio, thanked him for doing so. And that then brings us to Pirate's game called Heartbound. This game has been in production for a very long time, and Pirate has not been silent about criticizing other games in the past, like Undertale, who many claim his game has taken a lot of inspiration from.
Undertale is the best example of this. Undertale is made by Toby Fox. Undertale is a brilliant goddamn game. It's very good. It's also coded like shit. And that's fine. If you look at the decompiles that people have done of Undertale, you'll find that there are rooms that have hundreds of if statements checking the same value, then it sets it to 0, then it checks it again before doing anything. Meaning all of those if statements did nothing except for take processing power. There are sections of the game that show, like, oh, here's an example. All the dialogue in all of Undertale is in a single switch case statement in one object. It's thousands and thousands of cases long. Single object, all of the dialogue in the game. Hard-coded into that object. Insane. Insane behavior. But it doesn't matter. You can be bad at programming and make a brilliant game that changes the entire industry.
So obviously, if you're talking like that, you better have some really good code when it comes to your game. And to even double down on that, Pirate went on to say that his game was uncrackable. You could not pirate his game, which someone proved to be wrong very quickly. In this pretty viral thread on Twitter, the user by the name of Peach2K2 pointed out that the code is messy and badly organized. It has lots of inconsistent formatting, confusing variable names, and missing comments make it hard to follow. Essentially, Peach here waved a red flag about Pirate Software's technical skills and professionalism when it comes to coding games. And this also caused more people from the game dev community to start looking into this guy's code. And this includes a guy that goes by Coding Jesus. And here he made a 14-minute video where he essentially says the code of his game is embarrassing.
Honestly, if I was claiming I'm a game developer with 20 years of experience, this would be embarrassing to have online.
So Pirate took offense to that, and he went on to claim that his game Heartbound, it was coded so well that it could run on a smart fridge to show its efficiency. But it turns out the game was allegedly ran on a PC and mirrored to the fridge screen.
It is irrelevant to increase performance on a game that runs on a smart fridge.
The day my devastating video on Pirate Software's slop lighting system dropped, he did an 8-hour cope stream, justifying the slop by referring to the fact that his game runs on a smart fridge. So let's analyze what's really going on. Here's the video of Heartbound running, quote-unquote, on a smart fridge. Let's rewind a little. What do we notice here? We notice that the game is actually being run on a laptop and streamed to the fridge using a Raspberry Pi device. If we zoom in a little closer, you can see it says connecting to Heartbridge, which is the name of the laptop and the hotspot connection he set up. In this case, the screen simply acts as a controller. Everything is running on the laptop, and the actual output is just being streamed back to the smart fridge. The fridge isn't computing anything itself. To emphasize this, here's a video of a washing machine running Death Stranding.
So when your game runs at perfect performance on a smart fridge inside of a Lowe's, come back and talk shit.
So Pirate made that video revolving the fridge, and we already saw Coding Jesus' response. So I guess, again, he made some weird response to try to make himself look like a genius. It's never that serious, and I'm very confused in why he's trying so hard to come across as like the smartest dude in the room. Because by trying to do so, he's kind of proving to the world that he's not that. I mean, the dude is just actively destroying his career live by continuing to double down rather than admit fault and fixing mistakes. Because like, imagine if his response was, yeah, this is my first game, I'm trying my best here, thank you guys for supporting me, rather than allegedly staging this whole Best Buy refrigerator clip, which he only got caught doing because he was being sloppy, in a similar way that he got caught with the whole donation train thing. Either way though, I mean, this dude is guilty of committing cringe, but under no circumstances should he nor anyone close to him be doxxed. But I mean, hey, at least he didn't get like $6 billion in contracts and build only half a house like Akon did in Africa, because that's just an insane story that I would recommend you guys checking out there. But other than that, hey, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, drop a like on this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.